Hi there, Dr. Gary here on the road. We sell dental practices nationwide. So today's topic is equipment failure after purchase of a dental office. Who's responsible? We're going to get into what happened, and we try to give you real facts that happen on breaking information, breaking news, because we think we'd say we're in the trenches getting all the information on a day-to-day basis. So before we get into what happened in this instance, we are now 13 years doing dental practice brokerage. I was a dentist for 25. We have 10 employees. We are in over 20 states around the United States, and we're here to serve you every day from 8 a.m. till 9 p.m. East Coast time. So call us, even if you just have a little question. We'll be happy to chat with you. And people call us frequently just to chat, find out what the market's like. Be happy to talk to you. We also do appraisals, but our main focus is selling dental practices and providing buyers with different opportunities. It's a hot market now for sellers. Our number is 201-663-0935. Our website is dentalpracticeguide.com or nationwidedentalpracticebrokers.com. So please give us a call. We can help you sell your practice. Now, if you are thinking this information you're hearing today is all for informational purposes, educational, entertainment. It's not legal or business advice. If you're thinking about selling to one of the big DSOs, dental services organization, corporate dentistry, call us first, because we know who they all are. In fact, we have a list of 2,000 across the United States, and we pick and choose for you who the best ones are. And most of the time, our commission is paid, so there's no commission to you as a buyer. Also, if you work with myself and my team, often we will get your legal fees reimbursed upon successful closing, based on certain criteria. But ultimately, you're not paying legal fees, so we're going to get them reimbursed for you at closing, successful closing. So anyway, what happened this time? So the buyer just purchased the practice from the doctor. Everything went well. It's been 2 weeks, 3 weeks, running smoothly. Everybody's happy. They both had great dental attorneys, great dental contract, good dental bank. So it was relatively smooth, which I was surprised. They actually called me and said, we're closing next week. I was kind of shocked because I'm used to chaos. Really wasn't much chaos. But what happened? Well, the doctor had the office inspected, and he was given free reign of the office. And on the contract, it generally says that equipment is in working condition upon handing it over to the doctor. Working condition means it's working on Friday or the day before the closing. But 2 days after the closing, the selling doctor really doesn't have responsibility. What happened here is the doctor informed the buyer that they had a newer sterilizer, or was it x-ray machine, one of the two. And they had recently had the x-ray machine out for repair. So in the doctor's mind, it was a newer machine, then everything's working fine because they had it serviced. And it was working okay. But when the buyer started using the x-ray machine in a room they didn't use that often, suddenly it was running into problems. It just wasn't snapping, wasn't something wrong with the board on it. Wasn't taking digital x-rays. It wasn't taking x-rays. So he brought the serviceman in. The service says, look, you're going to need, I think, $1,400 worth of work. And the doctor said, look, I just bought the office. They said it was in working condition. And they said it was a newer machine. So the serviceman said, well, they may have bought it recently and they consider it newer, but the machine was still 5 years old. I guess you would consider that a newer machine rather compared to a 40-year-old machine, although some of the 40-year-old machines are better. But I guess I would consider that a newer machine. So that was an interpretation by the seller. But what is the obligations of the seller? Well, what you have in these situations, you go back to your contract. What did the dental contract say about the equipment? Well, they said it was in working condition, as is working conditions. In other words, if the doctor was utilizing the machine a week before closing, it's in working condition and it is as is. And the inspection prior to the sale could have revealed if something was wrong. So, and the doctor did have it serviced, has records on that. Whose fault is it? It's only been 2-3 weeks. The buyer now has a $1,400 bill. And he doesn't consider the machine newer machine, but it is only 5 years old. I guess that's an interpretation. What is your recourse as a buyer? Because the buyer just called me today. My first response is, we've got to go back to your contract and see what it says in the contract. And I believe the contract said equipment is in working order in as-is condition. Sometimes you see in the contract sold in as-is condition with all its faults known or unknown. I don't know if that was in this contract, but that's what happens when you have a problem post-closing. All you have to go on is the contract. That's why you guys have these boilerplate contracts. You think, no problem, you're going to save $5,000 in legal fees, and you fooled everybody. Clicking your heels. Yeah, until something like this happens. These are small issues which you may have bypassed in your boilerplate contract that you got from somebody else, or you used in one of your previous deals. So there is problems sometimes, and this is one of those problems. So what's going to happen? He's going to call the attorney. The attorney's going to look up the dental contract, or better known as the APA, Asset Purchase Agreement contract, and see what the wording is about the equipment. My take is, seller had it serviced. As far as the seller was concerned, he's not an expert. It was serviced and in working condition. Seller considered it newer because it was 5 years old. She bought it used. Buyer doesn't. Who's right? I know I will get involved to try to help mitigate any problems, and I'll, certainly, if he wants me to talk to the seller, I think in good faith, the buyer says, look, I got a bill here for $1,400. And I don't abuse the equipment. I got a lot of expenses. That's a lot of burrs you can buy for $1,400. That's a fair amount of advertising you could do. It's quite a number of postcards at 55 cents each, right? You're talking about 2,800 postcards, 2,500 postcards, somewhere around there. So there's an issue. An issue has to be handled. The way to handle it is amicable. We have an amicable buyer and I believe an amicable seller. And I think we could work this out. But in the end, if you get antagonistic, this type of environment, somebody's going to be upset. And what you do is you negotiate. The attorneys will talk. There's a problem. What I would do as a seller, I'd kick in a few bucks. Keep the guy happy. He's a younger practitioner. He's all excited and the machine doesn't work. You got to understand something. A lot of millennials, they're wonderful kids, wonderful people. They're not used to chaos. They hit number 4 on a computer screen. That screen doesn't come up as 4. They're like chaos. That's like, hey, pal, maybe the machine is stuck. Maybe there's dust in the key and you keep hitting 4. It doesn't come up as 4. Well, you get used to chaos. Sometimes these things happen. So I think there'll be amicable resolution on this. We as brokers will try to help where we can, mitigate any issues and problems. And that's what we do. That's why we're different. So I hope this has a nice resolution. This happened a few hours ago. We bring you, although this is a small issue, could be grander issues. The key thing is, it comes down to the contract. By the way, this is a gorgeous day in New Jersey. I mean, forget it. Take 3 days in a row with definitely a beach day, and it's the beginning of October. I think it's Indian summer. My buddy's down the shore. He called me. He said it's freaking fantastic. Oh, God, he has a condo down there. I wish I was there. But too much action going on today. You can always fly down to the Caribbean. The weather's always nice. Or Australia. In fact, I'm going there soon. Going snorkeling in the Great Barrier Reef. Anyway, getting on to things. That's today's info. If you like what you hear, hit your subscribe button. We're doing a lot of videos. We're backed up. I have like 20 videos to be, we haven't even loaded yet. I'm way ahead of my marketing guy. He can't keep up with me. Having a great time. Enjoy yourself. Talk to you soon, team. Thank you. Bye.